I mean, first of all, I'm not sure the G2, the G2 will always be a concern. I'm not sure how realistic a concern it would be given the way things are going. Then you have, in a sense, at least from a UN perspective, the P3, the non-G2. And then you have this set of, you can say, middle powers, upper middle powers. One neat category would actually be the G20 countries. But, you know, I also give due weight to Nigeria here. But let us say there are those roughly 10 odd countries which would be G20 countries of regional influence. You know, my sense is you're going to see both lateral and to some degree vertical collaborations. Some of the collaborations would come from pre-existing architecture. I mean, you have alliances. The alliances or groupings, I mean, the EU allows a lot of countries to coordinate. The NATO allows a lot of countries to coordinate. Australia, Japan, by virtue of their treaty alliances, treaty relationships, do that. The interesting ones would be the loners, in a way, the ones who are not embedded in a pre-existing structure. And you can see that in different ways they are both expanding options, but also trying to forge something common. I give you a few examples. I mean, if you look at, say, BRICS expansion, some of the countries that showed interest and have actually moving in that direction, I mean, take something like Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is clearly widening its options. The UAE is widening its options. But at the same time, these loner countries, these independent countries, through initiatives like IMEC, are working, you know, so they're also trying to forge, I would say, common ground on a particular set of issues. So you're going to see, you know, they would appear to be contradictory trends. To my mind, they are not. I think, to me, it's more like the natural diversity of the world finally escaping the clutches of a discipline imposed after the Cold War. So the Cold War really, you know, compelled or, you know, incentivized a whole lot of countries to come together very tightly. That's now loosening up. There'll be consequences. A lot of countries will now, you know, try to have multiple options. And then once, even as they do that, they will form combinations of their own. And that's really going to make international relations very interesting.
Is India willing to lead that effort?
Is India willing to lead
that effort?
No, I don't think anybody can lead that effort. You know, my sense is you'll get combinations. We would try to be involved in, as you know, a lot of foreign policy is to be involved in as many of these enterprises and initiatives and groupings as possible. So it's a sort of you know, in my book, I've actually described it as making friends and influencing people. So how are you ideally omnipresent, omnirelevant, and that's also today, I would say, a new way of conducting foreign policy.